In the heart of Yumuk village, betrayal didn't just run deep, it ran in the blood. The sound of the origin echoed through the village of Yumuk, sharp and unsettling. It was not the usual call for a meeting, it was a warning. Something terrible had happened. Neoma stood at the edge of her late father's compound, her heart pounding as the news hit her ears like a slap. Obinna is dead. Obinna was her cousin, her childhood friend, her brother in all but blood. The one person she trusted when everyone else in her family looked at her with suspicion since her father's mysterious death 3 years ago. Obinna had been investigating something. Something that had to do with Papa's will, the one no one ever saw. He had whispered to her last week, "NNE, something is wrong. Uncle Chijioke isn't who we think he is." Now Obinna was gone, buried hastily before sunrise, and no one spoke of it. Neoma was so devastated and heartbroken. 3 years earlier, Chief Majuabuchi, Neoma's father, died in his sleep, or so they said. He was a respected elder, custodian of the village lands, and one of the wealthiest cocoa traders in the east. But what baffled everyone was how quickly his brother, Chijioke, stepped in as head of the family. Within weeks, Chijioke moved into the main house, seized control of Majuabuchi's lands, businesses, and even took a Ozu title bearer, something he was never qualified for. Neoma, then only 17, was sent off to live with her maternal aunt in Enugu. She returned a grown woman with sharper eyes and questions that pierced like thorns. Back in the present, Neoma dug through her father's study late at night. It had remained locked for years, until she found the rusted key behind a broken clay pot. The room was stale, coated in dust and silence. But her eyes darted to a shelf, where an old carved box sat crookedly. Inside it was a bundle of papers, and among them, a handwritten will, dated 1 week before Chief Majuabuchi's death. Her eyes widened as she read. "I, Chief Majuabuchi Ikin, leave my entire estate to my only daughter, Neoma, to be held in trust until her 21st birthday. My brother Chijioke is not to inherit any part of my wealth or title, for reasons I have shared with the council in confidence." Her knees buckled. This was the truth Obinna had died for. Neoma didn't sleep. By dawn, she walked into the palace square, holding the document like a weapon. "I demand an audience with the elders," she said, voice steady despite the tremor in her fingers. "I have evidence that my uncle forged his way into power, and that he may be involved in the death of both my father and cousin." The silence was immediate and heavy. The Onawu, second to the Igwe, looked at her with narrowed eyes. "These are strong accusations, Neoma. Are you ready for the storm that follows?" "I've lived in that storm since I was 17. I'm not afraid anymore." The council meeting was held under the sacred Ujiri tree. The will was read aloud, and gasps rippled through the gathering. Chijioke denied everything at first. But when pressed, his voice shook. "I did what I had to," he snapped. "My brother disgraced the family. He took bribes, made enemies. I saved our name. But you didn't save your own soul," the Onawu said coldly. "And you have blood on your hands." An elder stepped forward, trembling. "It is true. Chief Majuabuchi came to us before he died. He feared his brother. He asked that we protect his daughter and this will. But the document went missing, we thought it was stolen. It had been stolen. Hidden. Buried, until Obinna found the truth and paid with his life." Neoma said. Chijioke was stripped of all titles. He was exiled from Yumuk village, a fate worse than death for a man of his status. The Igwe himself performed the rites, denouncing him in front of the villagers. And when it was done, the people turned their gaze toward Neoma. She was only 20, but she stood taller than many chiefs. "We failed you," the Onawu said, bowing his head. "But your courage has restored not just your father's honor, but the dignity of this land." Neoma inherited the estate, yes. But more than that, she inherited a legacy rebuilt not on money or land, but on truth. 1 month later, as the Harmattan wind swept across Umuk, Neoma lit a candle in her father's study. Obina's photo stood beside the old will, framed in the wood of the very box she had found it in. "I did it," she whispered. "We did it." Outside, the Ojin rang again, not in warning this time, but in celebration. A new dawn had come.